Don't worry, guys. I'm with you. I'm with you. Not the
I think we could remember
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to invite Professor Samueli and Dr. Samueli to first affix the mezuzah, and if you can join me. Take this in your hand. One of you. Matter? Okay, you can do it. Then you can put it here, like this. Yeah, exactly. And now you can see the blessing.
Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam asher kitshanu b'mitzvotav v'tzivanu lipoah mezuzah.
Amen. And now we're going to do the ribbon cutting. Okay. Mayor, if you can join us also, please. Ariel Porat, President. For the ribbon cutting, please. Yossi, please. It's your building, Yossi.
Ready?
Mazal tov! Congratulations. And now we're going to do the unveiling of the plaque. So for this, we have logistics. One side, we need two people there. And one side here, we're going to pull it together. I'm going to say to you when. Just be careful on the stairs. I'm going to say when. Ready? 1 second, 1 second.
You go like this and he's going like this.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, pull. That's all. כל הכבוד to the mayor. Effective mayor. Bravo. Mazal tov, mazal tov. And now, please all join us sitting down to start the main ceremony. Please join us to sit in ceremony. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Amos Elad. I'm Vice President of Development and Public Affairs. I'm delighted to be here today here with you. And I'm very happy to kick off the first of many campus festivities this week, honoring Dr. Susan and Professor Henry Samueli. Today, we have the privilege of experiencing a major milestone in Tel Aviv University history. The opening of the Susan and Henry Samueli Engineering Building. Thank you all for joining us, and a special thanks to the guests that came from abroad. This is being broadcast live, so hello to everyone who's watching us tonight, today, this evening, this morning, abroad. And also I would like to welcome officially, I said the honorees, Dr. Susan and Professor Henry Samueli, Professor Ariel Porat, President of Tel Aviv University, Professor Yossi Klafter and Floret, former President of Tel Aviv University, Professor Mark Steif, the Provost, Ms. Daphne Meitar Nechmad, incoming Chairwoman of Tel Aviv University Board of Governor, Eli Gelman, Tel Aviv University Executive Council Chairman, Gadi Frank, Tel Aviv University CEO, Vice Presidents of Tel Aviv University, Susan and Dr. Wayne Jonas, Ms. Paula Golden, Ariel, and Dr. Shlomo Merkel, Deans of the Faculty of Tel Aviv University, Tau faculty and students, and of course, last but not least, our new distinguished neighbors from Broadcom and all who took part in making this magnificent building come true. Thank you very much, everyone. And now, I would like to invite Professor Ariel Porat, President of Tel Aviv University. Please, Ariel.
Hello, everybody. So since Amos mentioned all the names, I'm exempted of mentioning all the names, so I would just say that I am very happy to be here, first of all, with our guests of honor, Dr. Susan and Professor Henry Samueli. On behalf of Tel Aviv University, I am delighted to welcome you to a long-awaited moment, the grand opening of the Susan and Henry Samueli Engineering Building on the Tel Aviv University campus. A few moments ago, we unveiled two signs of the Broadcom Center and the Samueli Building, and we also affixed the mezuzah. These are not only ceremonial elements marking a seminal occasion. These elements symbolize the unique convergence of industry, philanthropy, and Jewish values that we are celebrating together today. Let me start with industry. The Samueli Building marks a new era of academia-industry synergy, not only at Tel Aviv University, but in Israel. It's one thing to speak abstractly about collaboration in R&D, but it is another thing altogether when you create physical proximity, when Broadcom developers, Tau scientists, and Tau engineering students have the chance to rub shoulders, brainstorm over a cup of coffee, or chase after a project in one another's labs. We hope this relationship between Broadcom and the engineering faculty will create mutual inspiration, open exciting new directions for scientists and engineers, and serves as model for the campus of tomorrow. Now to philanthropy. Along with industry-university collaboration, the building we are opening today represents a milestone in the Samueli's far-sighted philanthropy. We feel privileged to be the first and only Israeli university that the Samuelis are supporting. This is a huge vote of confidence. The Samuelis have a history of generously donating to STEM projects, higher education, integrative medicine, children and youth, and Jewish causes. Their gift of the Samueli Building is accompanied by a second large gift, the Susan and Henry Samueli Engineering and Health Research Endowment, for which we are deeply grateful. For the Samuelis' extraordinary achievements in the spheres of engineering, health, business, and philanthropy, Tau is pleased to confer on them an honorary doctorate. We will be holding the ceremony on Thursday. And now I would like to pause and thank three people who were key to making this building happen. The first is former Tau president, Professor Yossi Klafter, joined by his wife, Pirchia, whose personal friendship with the Samuelis paved the way for their deep involvement with the university and their commitment to the university. The second is Dr. Shlomo Merkel, who together with his wife, Arieli, if I may, is so personally invested in the Tau Broadcom connection and who drove this building project forward. Shlomo is a great friend of the university and also a personal friend, and served also as a chairman of the boards of both Ramot and Tau Ventures, further reinforcing his central role in promoting industry-university collaboration. The third is Dean Rosenwachs, backed by his professional team, who has been responsible for overseeing the Tau part of the Samueli building down to the smallest details. I mentioned three elements converging today: industry, philanthropy, and Jewish values. The Samuelis are well known for their love of Israel and of Jewish history and culture. What greater Jewish value is there than education? It is the key to our people's strength, and it is key to the continuing strength, competitiveness, and prosperity of Israel. The building we are opening today is a marvel of modern architecture and cutting-edge facilities. But even more important is what it will enable, which is the education of students, the training of new generations of young engineers who will contribute to industry and better the world in the spirit of the Samuelis themselves. I would like to thank the Samuelis and Broadcom for this huge step forward in academic industry collaboration, in scientific R&D, and in education. We look forward to many more fruitful years of friendship and partnership. Thank you very much. Now, there is a certificate here that I should read for you. Amos, should Henry and Susan approach me, please? Okay, so this is the certificate. So I'll read it for the audience. This is to witness that on the 6th day of May 2021, the Susan and Henry Samueli Engineering Building was inaugurated in the presence of Susan and Henry Samueli, thereby providing optimal conditions of state-of-the-art research, teaching and industry academy collaboration, providing a stunning new home for Tel Aviv University engineering students and faculty and for Broadcom engineers, boosting the university's contribution to Israeli business, industry, and economic security, reinforcing the long and fruitful relationship between the university and Broadcom, and perpetuating the pioneering spirit of the Samueli family among new generations of Israeli engineers and innovators. My name is signed. Okay, so this is the certificate, and because you're so nice to approach me, there is even a gift here. Now, this gift. Oh, sorry. So there is a gift here, and not exactly equivalent to the gift that we received from the Samuelis, but at least symbolically, it's so this is. Should I open it, Amos? It's a kind of as far as I understand, it is a kind of a copy of the mezuzah that we fixed. So it's the original. Let's see. Wow, it's nice. Yeah,
That's so special.
it is nice.
Thank you. It's beautiful. Let me put.
Tilt it. Okay, so I'll put it back in the box, and you will be able to. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. And now I would like to call Dean Professor Yossi Rosenwachs to give a speech. Please.
Hi, shalom. Dear Susan, Henry, Ron Huldai, he left? Ariel and Shlomo, my colleagues from the Faculty of Engineering and the university. When I started my deanship almost 7 years ago, my dream was to establish a new building at the Faculty of Engineering. And today, this dream has come true. Susan and Henry, with your generosity, a new era is starting this moment in Israel, an era of a new mode of partnership between academia and industry in general, and between Broadcom and the Faculty of Engineering in particular. In my eyes, this is modern Zionism. this building and the next one to follow just here will be the home for around 20 elite scientists recruited from Harvard, MIT, Yale, Stanford, UCLA, and other top schools. Here, they will fulfill their scientific goals for the benefit of Tel Aviv University, Israel, and the world. Susan, Henry, Shlomo, and last but not least, Yossi Klafter, a very big thank you on behalf of the Faculty of Engineering. תודה רבה.
Thank you very much, Yossi. And of course, last but not least, Professor Samueli, if you please say some words. Thank you.
Wow. It's pretty special to be here. Really thank all of you for being here. Susan and I are especially thrilled to be here in person to do this. As you know, coming here in person is no easy task these days. So I want to particularly thank Shlomo for getting all the approvals necessary, and it was an enormous amount of work that we fully understand, but it really is so meaningful for us to be able to be here in Israel in person today for the ceremonies on Thursday as well. This will be the first of 3 speeches that I give, so I had to make sure I didn't overlap them too much. But it's truly my honor to be able to do that. So, first of all, this building is truly remarkable. And the fact that it is such a unique endeavor where it serves both the R&D engineers of Broadcom as well as the faculty and students of Tel Aviv University is pretty special. And you can look at the enormity of the building and can get a sense for how many people. I imagine it can house over 1,000 people total. It really is a wonderful example of what can be achieved by creative thinking in a public-private partnership, not only private industrial partnership, but philanthropy coupled with the public university. It is an amazing accomplishment. So when I think back, and try to trace back the steps of how we got to this place today, Broadcom's presence in Israel began in the year 2000, roughly 21 years ago, with our first acquisition of an Israeli startup. And over the last 20 years, Broadcom has been growing our presence here in Israel through a steady stream of acquisitions of both local startups as well as, in recent years, multinational corporations that happen to have an Israeli presence. But interestingly enough, one of the biggest issues we regularly faced was the fact that each one of our roughly dozen or so acquisitions were housed in different facilities scattered all around Israel, but mostly in Tel Aviv and its surrounding communities. And as much as we tried, it was surprisingly difficult to consolidate facilities because employees became extremely territorial and refused to relocate for a multitude of reasons, but mostly related to traffic, which we, of course, experienced today and will be experiencing for the next week or two while we're here personally, and also access to public transportation. So we've had, I don't know, 7, 8, 9 facilities scattered all over the place in Israel. And a few years ago, our CEO, Hawk Tan, challenged Shlomo Markel, here our VP of Broadcom Israel, to see if he could find a solution to this problem and consolidate our locations. So Shlomo also ran into much resistance with the employees. He looked all over Israel, suggested this area, this area, this area, constant pushback. No, we'll quit if you move us. Every reason in the book. But interestingly enough, miraculously, there was one location where the, oh, perfect, I'm getting a squeaky throat. Thanks. So the one location where he didn't get too much pushback was Tel Aviv University. So problem is, unfortunately, it's a university, it's not a business park. So I pretty much gave up hope and said, we're never going to be able to find a solution to this problem. But Shlomo, who is the ultimate problem solver, said to me, let's work on this, and let me get back to you. All right, so a couple months passed by. He had several discussions with the Tau president at the time, Yossi Klafter, and came back to Hawk and I with a proposal. He said, he sat down with both Hawk and I, and he went through a potential option for doing it here, which sounded very exciting, but it was very complex and required a lot of details to be pulled off. But he said, just trust me, leave me to it. And both Hawk and I off to the side said, okay, let him work on it, but there's no way he's going to pull this off. It's just not possible. But never doubt Shlomo's ability to pull off miracles. And after a couple of months of negotiation with Yossi and others, an agreement was signed between Broadcom and Tau, and this magnificent building project was kicked off. And that was about 2.5 years ago. But that wasn't the end of Shlomo's miracles. First, the project was kicked off with a very tight construction timeline because we had to align lease terminations. We had leases all over Israel terminating at different times. So we had to find a time where we could terminate leases, move into this building smoothly. And that was no easy task in and of itself. And he came up with a timeline working with the contractors and estimating when it would be finished. And the estimate was April of 2021. This, again, is 2.5 years ago. They came up with this estimate, and we looked at all our leases and said, yes, we can figure out a way to get out of our leases and be in here in April of 2021. Now, as we all know, construction projects, at least in the US, I'm sure it's the same in Israel, but they never finish on time, even in normal economic times. But then, of course, COVID hit. And we were all prepared for the worst because it hit right in the middle of construction. And we're saying, oh my God, what's going to happen now? You know, the worst case scenario was, you know, everything would come to a halt, you know, years of delay, who knows what would happen. But Shlomo managed, and again, I don't know how, but he managed to work with the contractors and the municipality to get all the permissions. And we were able to complete this building on time and within budget during COVID. It's a miracle, absolutely a miracle. So, Shlomo, I think we need to change your name to Moses, because what you accomplished here is about as difficult as parting the Red Sea. Congratulations, really, congratulations. So this is truly an amazing facility that will serve the engineers at Broadcom and the faculty and students at Tau for decades to come. And it wasn't that long ago, 2.5 years, that Susan and I and our granddaughter Layla were here to lay the cornerstone in the foundation of the building. I think it was at the very far end there, and we had a beautiful ceremony then. And now we're here, just had a ribbon cutting ceremony and also mezuzah hanging ceremony, which is very moving because we typically don't do that in buildings that we dedicate and construct in the US, unless it's a synagogue or something like that. So it's pretty special for us to be able to hang the mezuzah and say the prayer. So I want to thank all, all of those involved, and there were a lot of people involved in conceiving the project, designing the project, constructing the project, approving all the different phases, a huge amount of effort and work that went in from so many different people. You have all created a wonderful landmark, not only for the university, but for Greater Tel Aviv. And it's also just special for Susan and I to be here again in person to do this between the mezuzah and the ribbon cutting and the events we're going to have later in the week. We are thrilled, absolutely thrilled to be here. So again, congratulations to everyone at the university, and look forward to celebrating this building here on a regular basis. We will be back many, many times in the future for future events. Thank you again.
Thank you very much, Henry. Also would like to recognize our Vice Chairman of the Board of Governors, Mr. Sami Sagol, who joined us as well, and also a special recognition to Mr. Gadi Frank, the CEO, and the Vice CEO, Ofer Lugassi, who without them, this building wouldn't happen, and they worked tremendously hard together with Shlomo on this building. So yes, they deserve it, everyone deserves it. So now we're at the end, and you all are welcome to join the reception, and we will see you in the next festivities. Thank you very much, everyone, and enjoy the evening. Thank you.